Hey, yo, everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing my comic load for the week. Now, this is the second week of the month, and it's arguably one of my bigger weeks. The second and third week kind of tie for the largest week of the month, where the first and the fourth week are a little bit more mellow. So we have a lot to talk about, so we might as well not dilly-daddle and just jump right into it. And we will start where we always start, with a little bit of Batman in our life. With Batman issue number 21. I have two covers here. I'm getting the variant in the mail, the Jock cover, I believe it is, because my comic store didn't have it, which was surprising, but hey, it happens. But I'm getting the variant cover in the mail. So issue number 21 starts off the 0 year story arc, which is basically replacing year one. This kind of stirred up a bit of controversy with people because year one is such an epic tale, and it's probably one of the few things Frank Miller has done that I still enjoy. Me personally, I feel as though The Dark Knight is a little dated. All Star Batman and Robin sucks. And I have not read his Daredevil or Sin City, so I can't comment on that. But the fact of the matter remains is it's replacing something that is basically timeless, but it's something that needs to be done because year one doesn't fit in the new continuity. The basic gist of how the story starts off is Bruce Wayne has returned to Gotham, keeping Bruce Wayne legally dead. Because legally he's technically dead because he's been gone so long. However, while this is happening, he's taking on the Red Hood gang, which is causing a ruckus in all of Gotham. And it's basically his arch nemesis, I think, for year one. Although that could change, who knows? Uh, it's kind of picking up where the zero issue left off. While this is going on, his uncle Philip shows up to try to convince Bruce to take back up the position of power that he had in the Wayne family. Will Bruce Wayne do this, or will he decide to keep Bruce Wayne legally dead? Well, you're gonna have to read and see. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. The art is fantastic as always. Greg Capullo does great art. I like the usage of Uncle Philip here. For those of you that don't know, Uncle Philip was mentioned back in the origin of Bruce Wayne in Detective Comics. I don't know, like 30, I forget. The origin of Batman, and he makes the smallest cameo when Batman's making a promise and praying to God, saying that as a little boy that he's going to avenge his parents, and Uncle Philip says, "Time for bed, Bruce," and he goes, "Okay, Uncle Philip." That's like the only appearance he's had here. But Uncle Philip is a member of the Kane family and the brother to his mother, Martha Wayne. So it's kind of cool that they integrate him into the story. It's nice how Scott Snyder retroactively brings back Silver and Golden Age concepts and modernizes, like the Bruce's brother, Thomas Wayne Jr., or Philip Kane. So I think that's good. I like the concept of Red Hood Gang being his nemesis for the story because without speculating too much, we pretty much know that the leader of the Red Hood gang is probably Joker. So it'd be nice to see this big, huge story arc, and at the end of it, Joker pops out of it. That'd be kind of cool. Um, and I did also like the fact that they're integrating different Batman villains towards the end. Bad is this too much light in this. I like it better if Batman is operating in the dark, using the dark to his advantage. It's too much of the daytime in this. I know that sounds silly, but it did kind of, I don't know, rub me the weird way. Besides that, year one starts off, 0 year starts off on a great note, but not a perfect note. So I will give it a 4.5 out of 5. Would have been nice to see Bruce do what Bruce is supposed to do, and that's, operate in the dark. Oh, that and Bruce flips off someone. Well, he flips off the Red Hood gang leader, which seems a little odd because I don't see Batman flip people off. But hey, that's fine. 4.5 out of 5. Nightwing issue number 21. So Nightwing is dealing with he's dealing with what's his name? The Taskmaster? No, the Trickster. It just totally, totally blurred it out of my brain. But he's dealing with the Trickster, and Trickster put him in a death trap. Nightwing gets out, and he makes a deal with the Trickster. But who's tricking who? Is Nightwing tricking the Trickster, or is the Trickster tricking Nightwing? Or are they tricking each other? Just gonna have to read and see. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Brett Booth's art on Nightwing feels natural and good. He draws him very well. I do like the acrobaticness that comes with it. The use of the trickster, I like him more in this issue than I have liked him in previous issues. I think it flows well for the character. Um, I'm liking the character. He's growing on me. I'm basically saying that. There's some great action in this, which is nice, and some tense moments, and a satisfying ending to say the least for Nightwing when it comes down to the trickster. And to say that, it doesn't mean that the trickster won't be still showing up, but it's a nice, satisfying ending for now. Bad, can't say there's anything bad. Although I'm gonna give this a, I'll also give this a 4.5 out of 5. It was a good issue. Didn't blow me away, but it held strong, and it's really is a great direction for Nightwing. I like him going off on his own and doing his own thing right now. Batgirl issue number 21. This is still dealing with the ventriloquist, and Batgirl is reeling from the fact that she might have killed her brother, which she didn't, because he's a Suicide Squad. But let's put that aside. Uh, Batgirl gets a call from Nightwing, kind of talks about what happens, but shit gets real when the ventriloquist is going on a rampage, kidnapping people and decapitating heads. But what is this secret behind this ventriloquist? What makes her different than the previous one? You're gonna have to read and see. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. One thing that Batgirl is it has drama and great characterization. I said this before and I'll say it again. Gal Simone really knows how to write characters. Stories may not be her strong suit, but where she may be weak in one area, she excels with characters. Excels. And I really do enjoy the evolution of what Batgirl is right now. Not only story wise, but character wise. I like the internal drama that's going on with her and her family, which is really fun. The ventriloquist is kind of growing on me as a character, the new one, which is funny because I think the old one's still considered in continuity, but she's just kind of he showed up in one one issue, I think, the Dark Knight issue number 2. But yeah, I'm kind of letting this new ventriloquist grow on me. Bad, despite the fact that new ventriloquist is growing on me, not the prime villain I would use for Batgirl. It's good that they're building her rogue gallery for her, but it's just not enough. I kind of wish there was someone else there. Liking her, the ventriloquist as a villain, but not loving her. That in the ending was kind of abrupt and silly. Uh, yeah. But putting that aside, I'm gonna give this a 3.5 out of 5. Fun ride, enjoyable. I really do like the characterization. The plot and the story could be a little bit better. But you know what? It all pans out well in the end. Batman and Little Gotham, issue number 3. So this has a few stories, and it has a Valentine's Day story, which deals with Joker getting a love potion that makes all the chicks in Gotham want him. The second story is a team-up story with Damian and Katana, just kind of working together and trying to retrieve a jade sword. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. With Batman and Little Gotham, it's more of a detox comic for me. Reading all this hot and heavy stuff in all comic books, and then you're getting something like this that mellows out a bit, which is nice. Art is fantastic. I really like the first story with the Joker and how he's kind of, got this love potion on him. The second story wasn't so strong, and I think that's a weak point. On the whole, I'll give this a 3 out of 5. It's really just the second story being boring. I mean, it is boring. It's a Katana and Damien team up that really don't see them do much. They talk, they're there in almost every panel, but they really don't do much. Sorry, I'm taking my belt off. Moving on to Wolverine, issue number 4, the end of, what is it called, Hunting Games? I forget the name of this story arc. It's supposed to have a interesting name, but hunting season. So Wolverine is basically trying to figure out what's going on with the gun. That gun right there that's possessing people. During this, we find out that Wolverine kind of has a new power where he can push his muscles to the limit. It tears up his muscles, but screw it, he has super healing, so does it really much matter? And he's basically just trying to save the city. Save the Yankees in the Yankee game, too. Yeah, they actually make reference to the Yankees in this. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, I like the kind of the introduction of his new ability, the ability to push himself for burst of speed or burst of power, or just to go into kind of a controlled berserker mode. Oxymoron there. The action was pretty cool, especially with him trying to on top of the plane, cutting things down, and saving people, which is nice. Bad is this is an abrupt ending to a story arc that I feel as though doesn't have any closure. That and the dialogue is a little bit weak at the end with Nick Fury Jr. Putting that aside, Wolverine was a decent issue, but a decent issue at just that, a 3 out of 5. Moving on to Constantine, issue number 4. So Constantine is dealing with Papa Midnight, who is the voodoo magic specialist of the DC universe, and Constantine has basically stolen and betrayed the trust of Papa Midnight. So what does he do? Try to kill Constantine. What does Constantine do? Run for his life as always. But along the way, Constantine gets some advice to meet up with friends and to enjoy every day as it should be enjoyed to its fullest. Will he take this advice or not? It's Constantine. He doesn't really listen to people. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Papa Midnight. I don't know if he's been used in the DC universe before. He might be one of those characters I haven't touched upon yet, but I really do like the look and I do like the feel of this character, and I hope he shows up more. Really good antagonist for Constantine if they decide to roll with it. I felt as though this issue was well paced with great dialogue, and in addition to that, I felt as though it had a good utilization of characters. Zatanna shows up in this, which is nice also. Bad is this, it feels as though it's taking a step away from what the story arc we've been having with, Sargon the Sorceress and the, oh, was it, the Cold Flame group of wizards, and I feel as though we're taking a step away from that. But besides that, solid issue, enjoyable, 4 out of 5. Moving on to Demon Knights issue number 21. So, in this, it is basically Jason Blood and Vandal Savage working together to get the Holy Grail, and Jason Blood pulling all the strings he has to get it. But these two don't like each other. So, exactly what will go down? Will they be able to get the Holy Grail? And at the end of the day, will there be a bigger threat and quest looming over the horizon for the Demon Knights? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Etrigan slash Jason Blood in this was awesome. Awesome. Just really, I think one of the better issue-wise portrayals of Jason Blood. Just showing his intelligence more than anything. Great dialogue in this. Great dialogue and great closure to a story for now. Bad is the series is just coming to an end, and it makes me so sad when I read, because this is a stellar comic. It's one of the best of the New 52. 5 out of 5. Why is this ending? Because people aren't giving it a chance. Guys, you got to give stuff a chance if you want comics to flourish. Okay? Really great story. Really good issue. Really should pick it up. Moving on to Suicide Squad. So Harley Quinn has Amanda Waller captured and is basically toying with her. While this is going on, it is the Unknown Soldier versus Deadshot, with James Gordon Jr. caught in between. Exactly what will go down, who will come up on top, and will Deadshot be able to take on the Unknown Soldier with no weapons? Or at least no guns? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. The plot, the story in this is just so good. How they're bringing the Suicide Squad to kind of a new full circle. Not full circle, a new direction is really great. I love the characters that are being used here, from Harley Quinn to King Shark to Deadshot to Unknown Soldier to James Gordon Jr. to Amanda Waller. Everyone just feels so in character and so well done. Great direction for the story. Art is great, and the fight between Unknown Soldier and Deadshot was awesome. Bad, also none. I really do like the new direction Suicide Squad is going. It is stepping up the game. The new author on this, Alice Knott, really just taking this to the limits and taking it where it should go. Um, Not to say Adam Glass didn't do a great job with it beforehand, but I really do like the direction this is going. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, issue number what, 22, season 9, issue number 22. So basically, it comes down to going to the inner well. The Scoobies need to go to the inner well and try to save Dawn while this is going on. The bad guys are trying to go to the inner well too. And Xander Harris, is playing both sides. But which side will he choose, and will Dawn survive? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I do like the Spike and Dawn moments. Very touching, very nice. And there was some good action in this. Bad, I feel as though Buffy grills Xander a little too harshly because Buffy's made more mistakes than anyone. I think that's the biggest fault of Buffy. She just doesn't think when it comes down to other people. Uh, in addition to that, I'm just not feeling the story quite as much outside of Dawn being sick. I think the internal stuff is more important than the external stuff going on. On a whole, it's an okay issue. I will give it a 3.5. No, a 2.5 out of 5. It could be better. Thor, God of Thunder. God Bomb Part 3. Let me just summarize this in one big not one big sentence. Well, big in emotion and impact. Three Thors fighting a bad guy. It is awesome. It's basically the three Thors going up against the God Killer, the God Butcher. I forget his name exactly. I think it's Gorg or something. Um, and just going toe to toe with him. And it's space sharks. There are space sharks in this, shooting lasers out of their eyes. Um, Good. The art is great in this. The story is just it's pacing up and it's building up so nicely. The dialogue between the three Thors are great, and the ending unexpected and well done. Bad Zilch Thor God Thunder issue number what is it, 9? Great issue. Pick this thing up now. Thor is arguably the second best, if not the best, of Marvel now for me. It's tied with Captain America, roughly. Green Lantern Corps issue number 21. So John Stewart is trying to find his place in the world right now. Should he be with the Corps? Should he go with Fatality? What should he do? Should he be his own man? He's kind of torn. But while this is going on, some aliens are attacking innocents, and John Stewart has to fly in and take care of them. Uh, but what makes these aliens so deadly? You're just gonna have to see. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I like the fact of the portrayal of John Stewart in this. Um, and I do like a funny moment in this. In this, John Stewart says, "I'm not dying today," right there, which I think is a nice little reference to everyone thinking that he was going to get killed off, and he's not. I do really like the John Stewart portrayal in this. The art is really nice. And it's kind of cool to see the Green Lanterns, a bunch of Green Lanterns, getting rings and not necessarily be people that want to have the rings. It ties into Green Lantern very well, and it's a nicely paced story. Bad, I don't give two lickings about the aliens at all, not one bit. But besides that, 4.5 out of 5. Enjoyable, fun, and great. It's a great jumping on point for Jon Stewart fans. Threshold, Hunted, issue number 6. This series is unfortunately coming to an end soon. Is Brainiac versus Cull, and it is an epic fight. And while this is going on, Cull is pulling up as many tricks as he can to ensure his safety and to ensure the safety of the bottled city that his friends and enemies alike are in. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I really do like the evolution of Cull as a character, as a Green Lantern, debating on why he gets the ring, why he was chosen, so on and so forth. Uh, Great art, great utilization of Brainiac. Bad, the backup story is really not as interesting. Um, and in addition to that, Blue Beetle's in it, but I don't feel as though he's utilized quite as much as he could have been. Putting that aside, I do enjoy this a lot. It's a shame that this comic's coming to an end, but I will give this a 4 out of 5. Katana, issue number 5. Meet Coil. Well, listen, that's not Coil right there, editors. That is Sickle. It just baffles me what's happening with this comic and how they're having no direction on it. basically she's trying to get her the soul taker sword was destroyed. Katana's sword was destroyed. She's trying to reforge this. While she's going while she's doing this, she's dealing with several different assassins. A new assassin called Swagger. Yes, Swagger, not Jack Swagger, Swagger. Um, and she gets a little help from unexpected allies. While this is going on, the Creeper is also starting to make his move. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. The art is really nice. I do like the Creeper being kind of a villain in DCU. I think it works well for the character. And more and more is the Creeper's new design growing on me. I know a lot of people may not like it, but I think it's a hell of a lot better than the previous design. And I think it works well for what it is. Uh, Bad, the pacing is a little off, and um, well, the fight scenes are good. There are fight scenes in this, and the fight scenes are good, but the pacing is a little off, and I still don't feel as though Anne Nocenti has a definitive direction where she wants to go with the character of Katana, what she wants to do with this character, how she wants this character to feel and be portrayed. On the whole, it's an okay issue, but I mean, okay at best, and this okay is not enough to save a comic. And I love Katana as a character, but I'm not feeling this quite as much. 3 out of 5. I think the Creeper is more the saving grace. World's Finest, Power Girl and Huntress, Death Game. So Power Girl and Huntress are looking for information from Michael Holt's lab, and while looking for information, decides to send demons on them, or at least apocalyptic monstrosities. Will Power Girl and Huntress be able to take on Desaad's forces, or will unfortunately the new god have the upper hand? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, the art is really great in this. Some good action scenes, and I like that this actually has direction once again. This comic is going somewhere, it's doing something. We have a villain, we have a focus point. Awesome. Bad Huntress, I think, was underutilized in this. It was mostly just Power Girl punching and kicking. Huntress got the final laugh, I guess, against the enemy, but that's about it. Um, but on a whole, I enjoyed this comic. I dug it. I'm feeling this comic once again. So that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. Whether or not you should get it, yes. I think the best jumping on point for this was the Gatefoot cover, which was issue number 11, I think. But it's a really good jumping on point, and I think Power Girl being in Power Girl's costume, the new costume that they're using for her, although the cover doesn't give it as much justice because she has different gloves in there and different boots and a different belt. It makes a world of difference. The costume really does make a world of difference because this is a fantastic costume. The previous ones suck. So there you go. Plain, flat, and simple. Um, All Star Superman Special Edition issue number 1. It's a free comic. It's basically the first chapter to All Star Superman. Um, and it's All Star Superman. I'm not even going to review it. It's one of the best Superman stories of all time. You know whether or not you want to get it or not. But it was free, so I picked it up anyways. I wonder if they're going to do the rest of it. Who knows? But it's a free issue, so why not get it? Because it's free. And the last but certainly not least this week is Superman Unchained issue number 1. Scott Snyder, Jim Lee working together on a comic about Superman? Oh my. Oh my. Oh my, I'm getting a hard on just thinking about it. Scott Snyder, the fantastic writer that he is, just paving the way through comics like Batman and Swamp Thing, jumping onto Superman, giving him the much needed breath of fresh air that he needs. And Jim Lee, my favorite artist of all time, who has gorgeous art like this, taking care of Superman, by all means, let's do it. The basic gist of this is a satellite is falling to Earth, or a space station, kind of, and Superman needs to save the people on the space station. While this is going on, Lex Luthor is kind of playing his own tricks, and the government has a secret they're holding from Superman. And lastly, um, well, let's just say there's something going on with the Daily Planet and Lois Lane. They're kind of poking their noses where they shouldn't. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Everything's good. The story is intriguing and interesting. The art is fantastic. Good dialogue and good utilization of Superman's power. Really did like it in every way. And there's like a 4-page fold out, which is awesome. It literally, I wonder if I'm able to do it. It's like, look at this. I want to do it without like tearing it. But it's like a 4-page fold out, and it's Superman normally, and then like a distant shot. I can't really show it to you and give it justice, but check it out. It's fantastic. Whether or not you should get it, definitely 5 out of 5. If there's any jumping on point for anyone to Superman, it'd be right here. Great all-star stellar team, almost the perfect team in my opinion. Really just awesome comic. Pick it up. This is going to be a tough week to pick my favorites for the Andrewcutter pick of the week. It really is, but I think I know who I want it to be, and this isn't easy. But coming in at number 3 is going to be Demonites, issue number 21. Story arc is awesome. It really is. It's a shame that this comic is coming to an end. It's a damn pity because it's such a good comic. Coming in at number 2 is Thor, God of Thunder. Again, 3 Thors is a great number to have for Thors. I at first didn't like this whole future and past and present Thor kind of working together, but it's working out well for this comic. A really good ending, just overall a great story. But my number 1 for this week goes to, and there was some phenomenal comics this week, but the comic I think I enjoyed the most goes to Suicide Squad issue number 21. I really like the direction this comic's going. It really has a high fun factor, and I do like how the characters all balance each other out. Runners up were Batman issue number 21 and Superman Unchained issue number 1. But if I had to pick the comics I enjoyed the most, the comics I loved the most, it would have been those 3. They were just such great comics. But overall, a stellar week. I really do looking forward. I think in the long run, Scott Snyder's Batman and Superman will take the cake. But for individual issues, those are the ones that stood out. So let's go into it. Comments, questions, and answers, and a few updates. Updates on my part. I finally beat Xenoblade Chronicles. I clocked in like 78 hours of it. The last boss, Zanzan, is an absolute bitch to fight. If you do not know how to fight him, he's an absolute bitch. Um, and it takes a lot of grinding, and it's not great. It doesn't help that there's no save points really beforehand. But I finally beat it. I'm so happy. It was a fantastic game, one of the best Wii games. It won me over, but I am glad I'm done because that was 70 plus hours of my life. God. So I said I was going to take a break from video gaming for a week just to recuperate. But my friend said when he came over when we were going to go watch Superman, he's like, "Hey, let's pull out a game and play one." I'm like, "Okay, what do you want?" And he just looks at it. He's like, "How about this Sonic game?" I'm like, "Sonic Unleashed? I haven't played that yet." He's like, "Okay, let's play it." I'm like, "Fine." So I'm playing Sonic Unleashed. But once Sonic Unleashed is done, I'm going to detox for a bit. Detox for a bit. Um, what else? I got the Injustice Gods Among Us Batman figure. It's up there. I don't feel like reaching for it. It's a little too far away. And I do have planned a E3 What I Am Thinking video. It's going to be fun. It's not just going to be talk about Nintendo, because we all know I love Nintendo, but it's going to be talk about other stuff too. So, might as well jump into the comments, the questions, and answers. Okay, so we have 31 comments slash questions and answers. And here we go. Dino990913 asks, who is your favorite Bat Family member? Batman. If you're talking about everyone but Batman, Nightwing, but Batman is my favorite. He also asks, how do you feel about Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver's being in Avengers 2? And how do you feel about Bryan Singer's tweeting Quicksilver's appearance in X-Men Day of Futures Past this week after Joss Whedon announced those characters in Avengers 2? To your first question, I think it's fine that they're in Avengers. they were well-known members of the Avengers. They were in the Avengers in multiple different incarnations. Scarlet Witch probably more so than Quicksilver, but and I think of them more as Avengers than I think of them as mutants. Actually, I think the Marvel Universe is moving less towards what mutants are and more towards what Avengers are. As for showing up in Days of Future Past and tweeting all that stuff, I'm sure it was all planned to start buzz. It's all just to start buzz. Soul Drum 86. Do you think WB/DC should go ahead and make a Batman Superman movie like World's Finest Story? I personally think they should make it sort of a build up to the JLA instead of just rushing the JLA movie. Yeah, actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea to do a Superman Batman movie. It would be a great. It would be a good build up. That's actually a good idea because if you think about it, Superman and Batman, the two most well known superheroes of all time, working together, people are going to pay money to see that movie, and then just hint towards the Justice League. Maybe have the ending end off on Batman and Superman saying we need to expand our team. It can't just be the two of us. And then all you see in the background is like Wonder Woman, Green Lantern floating down, and like Flash runs right up behind them, and then Aquaman and Cyborg show up off the side, and it leads into the Justice League film. Not a bad idea, Soul Drum. Blue Lantern of 2814. Do you think Justice Society or Earth 2 movie will ever be made? Would it work? Do I think it will ever be made? No. Despite how much I love all the characters, they're not popular enough in the general public to warrant a movie. And would it work? I think it could work. I don't think it would be as popular as a Justice League or Avenger movie, though, for the reasons I say beforehand. Joshua Hayes, rank Scott Snyder's Batman arcs to date, first to worst. Black Mirror, Court of Owls, Death in the Family, and where do you expect Zero Year to rank? Personally, I love the way he writes, very clever, but I found the endings to some of the stories anticlimactic, except for Black Mirror. However, as this story won't have the same kind of finality being set in the past, I really have a gut feeling that Year Zero will be his best or second best work with Black Mirror. I'm kind of an odd Scott Snyder fan. I love all his work. All of them are five-star works. Let me just say that right now. But my favorites are probably my favorite being Court of Owls, then Death of the Family, and then Black Mirror. I think Year Zero will probably go in between Death of the Family and Court of Owls for me, but we'll see. We'll see. Omar 13Z, hey Andrew, you said in a past video you like Elseworld titles. So I was wondering if you would ever daydream your own Elseworld story. If so, would you share it? I probably have at some point daydreamed my own Elseworld story, but I can't really think of what, if any, stood out to mind. Um, Maybe I'll think about it today and I can get back to you on that. But I can't think of any that came to mind. I do like Elseworld stories. I like Elseworld stories that are handled well. But of course they have to be handled well. But I mean, like, there's some Elseworld stories that just aren't good. Um, but I'll think about that. I'll try to get back to you in the next video. Remind me, Omar, okay? Remind me. Stay on top of me. Also, how would you feel if in the New 52 was just a huge vision by the Flash? A buddy of mine was saying that he's not happy with how the New 52 came to be, and he said he hopes things go back to the pre 52. It won't happen. It won't happen. You know why? Because too many fans joined in because of the New 52, and if they just retcon and go all the way to the past, it'll devastate DC. It's kind of like putting your dick in a girl. You got to commit to it. It's already in there. What are you gonna do? You can't move on from that. It was a big change. You're just gonna have to deal with it. And people are going to be upset. But when the Crisis on Infinite Earth happened, everyone got upset after that too. And then now they're crying because that change is changing. So it's just change. People don't like change. There are a few things in New 52 I don't like, but I think for better or for worse, I think for the most part it's been a better change. Oh, and lastly, do you think fans should just get over the reboot and not automatically dislike the New 52 titles? Yes, it's like I said, change. I think people are too hung up on change that they're not getting what they want. I think the reboot should have been handled a little differently. I would tweak a few things here and there, make it a little bit more easier for the people to get into. But yeah, I think people are just automatically disliking it because it's not what they grew up with DC Comics, and that's fine. I can understand that, but you can't hate on stuff. I mean, I am absolutely freaking pissed with how DC is handling some of their characters not showing up. That's not going to hold me against. That's not going to hold me back from enjoying their stories. Rio Trek. You skipped my question. I asked what two comics in New 52 would you advise getting other than Batman and Justice League? Did I skip your comment? I'm sorry. Two comics other than Batman and Justice League do I advise getting? Well, Wonder Woman for one. It may not be for everyone, but it's been fantastic. All star, one of the best in the New 52. I would recommend getting Wonder Woman and Flash. Although Superman Unchained is just starting up, so it might be easier to jump onto that. But Flash has been stellar. Uh, Randy21765. Have you ever thought of getting in reading manga? I have, but it's not going to happen. Not anytime soon. But there's a few manga that I have considered reading. But I think the thing that's deterring me is some manga have multiple volumes and are really long. In addition to that, just reading stuff backwards for me is going to give me a headache. Felipe19991. Do you think Jon Stewart's fan base or popularity is based off the Justice League animated series? I think a good majority of it is. I think a lot of fans did like Jon Stewart before the cartoon, but I think the cartoon definitely boosted his status. There's no doubt about that. Cartoon being as popular as did, and then him being chosen as the Green Lantern for it, I think it absolutely made a difference. Um, Truth Addict 11. Cyborg Superman is returning in villain month of Action Comic. Yes, it is. This is a response to Fallout 3 Freak 1. Hey, Andrew, do you think DC should bring back Cyborg Superman with Superboy Prime to the New 52? Cyborg Superman is coming back. There's a lot of sketches online. You should check them out. It looks actually pretty good. Superboy Prime, no. I don't want Superboy Prime. If he shows up, I will kill him, and I will kill him to death. Radio Clash 81. I have a book called Essential Batman Encyclopedia by Robert Greenberg and was curious if you had it or were familiar with it. It's it is the most detailed book on the Batman universe I've ever seen. The only drawback now is that it was published in 2008, so it doesn't cover the more recent events. But it's still a great Batman book of reference or reference book. Yes, I have seen it. I've read a bit of it. I do not own it, but it is a good reference book for people that want to explore the Batman universe. Nick Lenz, hi Andrew. Two questions for you. First, what would you say if the current Green Lantern writer of the series started bringing back old Green Lantern villains such as Sonar and Goldface? Second, which Batman villain will be the story arc in Batman the Dark Knight after the Mad Hatter is finished? Um, Response to your first question, I would like that, but Green Lantern has become such a more cosmic book that I don't know if they would fit as well. I would like some stories of Hal Jordan being on Earth, doing Green Lantern stuff on Earth. But he is more of a cosmic book, so it's kind of hard to find that balance. As for the second story, I don't know what villain is being used in the next story arc for Batman Dark Knight. I can tell you what villains I would like. It would be nice to have a story arc with Clayface or the original ventriloquist or even like, I don't know, Killer Moth. I think what Greg Hurst is doing with the Batman Rogue Gallery in Dark Knight is a great thing. He really is. He's reshaping them. He's keeping them true to character, but he's bringing them into a modern age. He's making them enjoyable. I never liked Mad Hatter, but after the story arc, I dig him. I dig him. So Greg Hurst does a great job. Travis Edwards, my suggestion for the one you should drop is Catwoman. Yes, I would agree with you if I did not make the promise that I said that I would read everything from the Batman family. And Catwoman is technically still Batman family. George Jones. I know Batman Gauntlet, Batman Dark Victory, and Robin Year One and the Crap Fortune Son, but do you know any other Batman trades that have Dick as Robin in the current continuity? It's kind of tough to say because technically all the Golden Age and Silver Age stuff counts as Robin Dick Grayson being in continuity. The weird thing on how Batman's continuity works is that everything is considered canon back to the Golden Age unless stated otherwise. Because Batman's never had a full reboot ever. Things may have changed. Maybe his origin has changed a little on how it's told, or maybe Dick's origins change a little on it's told. But in theory, the Golden Age and Silver Age Dick Grayson stories as Robin is still canon. They're considered modernized. I mean, just think of them in today's time and modernize them. But in theory, they're still kind of considered canon. Um, I do recommend reading the Essentials and the Showcase Presents stuff because it's really fun stuff and it's a great way to, if you love Dick Grayson, it's a great way to just read him and it makes you appreciate him a lot. Um, would you say you need to read Red Hood Lost Days before reading Batman Unleashed? No, it's not necessary, but it is a recommendation. I think it's a good. I think it's a good book. I think it would be better to read it after Under the Hood because it answers a lot of questions. Read Under the Hood first and then read that. Also, could you do an essential Damian list or essential Dick Damian Robin list, Batman Robin list? Thank you for. Sorry for posting again. There's nothing wrong with posting multiple times. Um, I'm focusing too much. I'm giving a lot of thought on doing a new Batman timeline right now, which is something that a lot of people are requesting. So I kind of want to focus on that first before I jump into any other timelines. I don't know when my new Batman timeline will be up, but it will be up eventually. Lester here. See, I gave my word last time. I said when I said it would be the last comment. You can comment as much as you want. I have no problem with it. Regarding the Green Lantern movie, here's one thing I'm not sure you know, but Marvel dominates everything in Europe. At least that's the case in Spain. I did not know that. Interesting. Way before the movie reached theaters, critics were bashing it. By the time reviews started to show, they finally destroyed it. Also, there was an awful idea to use posters where Ryan Reynolds is not wearing the mask. Why would anyone do? Why would anyone there to do that to Batman? No, I I did not know that happened to Green Lantern movie going over into the Europes. Um, it's interesting. Without his mask, that's kind of weird, though. Oh well. And yes, we already know how. Yes, we already know the quality of it. However, there are a lot of opinions from people close to me that did enjoy it. There's those people range from ones expecting it to be awesome to those that aren't into superheroes, much less sci-fi, to a Marvel fan. So there you go. That's my final thoughts on the subject. Okay. Eric Simmons. If you could only read three comic books series from DC, what would they be? Batman, Justice League, and Wonder Woman. Batman because he's my favorite character. Wonder Woman because she's my second favorite character. Justice League because it's a team up book and the best team up book. Lester, several questions that I'm going to divide between this video and the next. What are your top five Justice League, not including unlimited episodes? Oh God. Can I get back to you on that? Because it's been a few years since I've watched Justice League. I think it's been 2 years since I've watched the series. I need to rewatch it. Um, if this is not including Unlimited, it's going to be even harder. Because Unlimited had a lot of my favorite episodes, in particular Epilogue, which was my favorite. I have to get back to you on that. What are your top five direct-to-DVD movies, not counting the ones that came from TV series? From today until now. Under the Hood, in no particular order. Although I could probably put them in order. Under the Hood is my favorite. Crisis on Two Earths is my second favorite. Hold on. New Frontier is my third favorite. Wonder Woman. No, Justice League, Doom, and then Wonder Woman. Those are my five. Uh, Ramsay Snow, what sort of music do you like? Also, are you going to post a video reviewing Man of Steel movie this weekend? I already posted it. What music do I like? I am a fan of everything, but in particular, I like rock, metal. I like stuff from the 80s a lot. I'm a big 80s fan. I like mid to late 90s stuff and not so much stuff today. I'm a big fan of the 80s and 90s. I'm a huge fan of the 80s. For our wedding, my fiance, when she sat down with me to describe what music we wanted um, for our wedding. He said, "Well, what are you into?" And she said, "Well, I like this, this, and this." And what? And then he's like, "Well, what are you into, Andrew?" And before I could say anything, she's like, "80s. Just play 80s, and he'll love it." But I do like rock and metal. And I like rock. I like bands like I like bands that older bands like Aerosmith or Black Sabbath or um, Guns N' Roses, and I will appreciate all different kinds of music. I also like stuff like Johnny Cash too, which transcends different genres. But I also like stuff of again, the mid to late '90s going to 2000s, like Linkin Park. So I just like rock metal in the '80s and '90s and early 2000s. Okay, Zach Brown. Hey Andrew, it's been hard for me to get into the New 52. For me. I just haven't been a fan of it. However, I really enjoy the death of the family story. It has become one of my favorite stories of all time. What are your thoughts on what I said? I think I enjoyed Death of the Family more than most people did because Death of the Family was more of a internal representation of what was happening in the Batman family than an external one, in that there was no death, there was no big climax when it came down to characters, but on a whole, it was literally the death of the Batman family. I think people forget to realize that. I do feel as though it's become one of the better Batman stories, but I think it will be definitely a story that's going to have mixed feelings. It's definitely one of my favorite Batman stories. It's probably one of my favorite Joker stories because I think it's a well handled Joker story. Moving on. What are your thoughts on Grant Morrison's JLA compared to Jeff Johns' JLA? Thoughts? Okay. Well, I think they both understand the core concept of what should be the Justice League, in that uh, how am I going to say this? Is that the Justice League is large in life, almost godlike individuals, and they should be in large in life situations. I think Grant Morrison has a better grasp on the concept of the characters and the balance that comes between them, but I feel as though Jeff Johns has a better grasp on the internalness of the characters, what makes them who they are as people. So I think that's the best comparison. Both of them are fantastic runs. I lean a little bit more towards Jeff Johns' run on it, just because Jeff Johns' run has my favorite team on it, the favorite version of the Justice League team. But hey, both of them are fantastic. Super Mega Boy Aid. By any chance, do you know when the new 52 Volume 3s are being released? I think sometime in September. I could be wrong, but I think sometime in September. Newsarama.com usually posts all the solicits, so you can probably just check on there. Mario uh, Baldi, Baldio, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry, Mario. Please forgive me. He says, fantastic video as always, Andrew. Hope you're doing. What is dropping out of my hand? Excuse me. Oh, well, that would explain shit. I don't want to lose that. Sorry. Mario, I hope you are definitely. I hope you are doing. I definitely think you should drop Wolverine and Fantastic Four because they don't have any direction and they were poorly written and choppy storylines. I hope you enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy. As always, keep up the good work. Yes, I still need to download that Guardians of the Galaxy. I've just been swamped with work, but I am going to pick it up and I am going to give it a fair chance. And I agree with you. I think Wolverine and Fantastic Four might be what I drop because it just hasn't been as enjoyable. Uh, and you're correct. I hope you're doing great. Thank you. I hope you are doing good too. Omar 13Z, sorry that I always ask multiple questions, Andrew, but I was wondering that is your favorite, most shocking graphic fight scene? one of my favorite, most shocking to me is Superboy Prime versus the Teen Titans in Infinite Crisis. Now, when you mean shocking, graphic, do you mean just gruesome and just bloody? I think one that came to mind, and it's not necessarily too graphic, but it's definitely one that kind of took me back a bit, was Red Tornado versus Solomon Grundy and the Tornado's Path. I don't know what about it stood out to me in particular, but it definitely did stand out to me. I think it's the fact that Solomon Grundy tore off Red Tornado's arm, but I think that's the one that, if I had to, off the top of my head, as graphic, I would say that. If you guys don't know what I'm doing, which you don't, is although I already have these, GameStop released the 25th anniversary Zelda minifigures, so I bought a couple more. I got 2 Wind Waker links and Tetra, who is incredibly tan. And both of the Tetras are incredibly tan. And I got Ocarina of Time Zelda. Again, I have all of them up there. I just decided to get more because I have a bad addiction to Zelda figures. Um, Joshua Hayes, what are your top 5 episodes of Justice League, including Unlimited? Top 5 Batman, top 5 Batman Beyond. If you don't want to do them all, at least do the animated series. Um, I know you did a top 10 favorite Batman in the animated series, but here's the catch. This time, it's not your favorite. This time, rank them in what you feel is critically the best. Interesting catch. Seeing that a couple people have asked for um, me to do this, to do a top 5 video of what I think are the best or my favorite of these episodes. Maybe I should just do a separate video. Maybe I should take my time and think about it and then do a separate video. What do you guys think? Do you want that? Me to do a video sometime soon talking about my favorite Justice League Unlimited episodes, what I think are the best, so on and so forth. I already did what my favorite Batman episodes are, but what do you think about me doing my favorite Justice League episodes? Please, by all means, let me know. Comment. Okay? Stunt 11520. What do you think of Nintendo's E3 showing? Did Mario 3D World disappoint you? Me, I'm excited for it. I'm just happy to see a new Mario game. I'm pretty sure that there's a big grand game in the works. Again, I will do my full thoughts of E3 once I'm going to do what I am thinking video. But to be honest, I really did enjoy the Nintendo press conference. Uh, I really, really did enjoy it. When it came down to in press conference, I mean them talking about what is it called? Them doing their little direct, their not DC direct, their Nintendo direct. I really did enjoy it. Mario World, I actually like it. You know why? Because it's something different. It's something that we haven't had before. It's something different. It's something new with the cat powers and the 4 people co-op. It's cool. I'll go for it. But my full thoughts will be in that what I am thinking. And final question comment is Oscar Otunga. Otenga. Am I pronouncing that right? Please let me know, Oscar. Hey, Andrew. If you could choose 5 villains from the DC universe that can beat the entire Justice League, who would those characters be? Thanks for reading this. 5 characters that could beat the entire Justice League. Darkseid would be one. Uh, Amazo. Darkseid, Amazo. I was gonna say Despero, but not compared to what happened in the last issue of Justice League. Um, Darkseid, Despero, Amazo. Mongrel. No, not Mongrel, because Mongrel gets his ass kicked by Superman half the time. Um, Darkseid. Now you got me thinking. If we're talking about in all continuities, Darkseid. Um, Starro. Amazo. Who can defeat the whole Justice League? Um, Given the element of surprise, no, I was gonna say the key, but the key can't necessarily. Um, even with the element of surprise, I don't think the key would be able to do it. Starro. So I said Starro, Amazo, Darkseid, Superboy Prime, or at least Superboy Prime can give them a run for the money. And who else? This is a good question. It's got me a little stumped. 5 people that can defeat the Justice League. Hmm. Now again, this is who could. Doesn't mean they would necessarily actually win. To be honest, actually, you know what? Who else could probably do it if they had prep time and thought of it? Ares, one of Wonder Woman's villains. I know that's kind of an odd answer, but given enough prep time, he could probably do it. So there we go. Those are the questions and comments for the week. If you have a question or comment, please post it down below. I already did my review of Man of Steel. If you have not seen it, it's a previous video. And I will do what I am thinking now. I'm done with Xenoblades. I'm going to have a lot more time on hand. So I'm going to end this video here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.